In Japan, children as young as 3 years old already understand something about money that most Western adults will never learn. Not because they took a finance course, not because their parents sat them down with spreadsheets, but because a single money rule was quietly woven into their daily lives, so naturally that they did not even realize they were being taught. And here is what will surprise you. This rule has almost nothing to do with saving. It has nothing to do with budgeting apps or clever investment tricks. It goes far deeper than that. It reaches into how you feel every time you open your wallet, how you decide what is truly worth your energy, and how you build a life where money serves you instead of the other way around. Today, I am going to share with you 7 money habits that Japanese parents pass down to their children, habits that shape an entirely different relationship with wealth, purpose, and daily life. Some of these will challenge everything you were told about money growing up. Others will feel so simple you will wonder why no one ever mentioned them. And among all 7, there is one that the Japanese consider the most important of all. One rule that, once you truly understand it, changes the way you see every purchase, every paycheck, and every choice you make with your resources. I will reveal which one it is only at the very end, so stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not something most people ever get the chance to learn. To understand why Japan's approach to money is so different, you need to understand a word that sits at the heart of Japanese culture. The word is Mottainai, which essentially means do not waste anything. But Mottainai is much more than a financial concept. It is a feeling. It is that quiet discomfort a Japanese person feels when food is left on a plate, when a perfectly good object is thrown away, when an afternoon is spent on something meaningless. Mottainai is not about being cheap. It is about being respectful toward the resources life offers you. In the West, we often teach children that money is a tool to get what you want. In Japan, money is treated as something closer to energy. It flows, it has weight, it carries responsibility. There is another concept called Kakeibo, which refers to the traditional Japanese household ledger. For over a century, Japanese families, especially mothers, have kept meticulous handwritten records of every yen that enters and leaves the home. Not out of anxiety, but out of respect for the effort it took to earn that money, and respect for the life that money is meant to support. This is why Japan has one of the highest household savings rates among developed nations, and one of the lowest rates of personal debt. It is not about restriction, it is about awareness, and that awareness begins in childhood, long before a child ever earns a single coin. Today, I will walk you through 7 specific money habits that Japanese parents teach their children. 7 habits that most adults in the West were never told. Let us begin. Before we go further, if you have not subscribed yet, now is the perfect moment. Every week I share insights from Japanese culture and philosophy that can genuinely change the way you live. You will not find these lessons anywhere else, because they come from a lifetime of living inside this culture. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a new video. And if what you are hearing today is already making you think differently, a like takes 1 second and helps this video reach others who need to hear it. Now, let us get into the habits you came here for. The first money habit Japanese parents teach their children is that money must be handled with both hands. This is not a metaphor. In Japan, when a child receives money, whether it is a coin from a grandparent or a small allowance, they are taught to accept it with both hands, gently, with a slight bow. When they pay for something at a store, they place the money on the tray with care, never tossing it or sliding it across the counter. I remember watching my own granddaughter, when she was only 4, receive a small coin from her uncle during New Year. She held it with both hands, looked up at him, and bowed. No one told her to do it. She had simply absorbed it from watching everyone around her. This ritual does something profound. It teaches the child that money is not casual. It represents someone's time, someone's labor, someone's sacrifice. In the West, we hand money over absent-mindedly. We crumple bills into pockets. We tap cards while scrolling through our phones. There is nothing wrong with convenience, But when you remove all ceremony from spending, you also remove awareness. And when awareness disappears, overspending follows naturally. Try this today. The next time you pay for something, pause for 1 second. Feel the weight of what you are exchanging. Be present for it. That single moment of awareness can begin to shift your entire relationship with spending, not through willpower, through presence. The second habit surprises many people outside of Japan because of how simple it is. Japanese parents teach their children to separate money by purpose before they ever spend a single coin. This comes from the tradition of Kakeibo, the household ledger I mentioned earlier. But for children, the practice is even simpler. A child might receive a small weekly allowance, and the parent will provide 3 envelopes or small pouches. One is for saving, one is for spending, and one is for giving. The child learns from the very beginning that money is not a single lump to be used however impulse dictates. It has categories, it has intention, each envelope has a role, and each role matters. In much of the Western world, children receive money and are simply told to be careful with it. But careful is vague. It does not teach structure or decision-making. The Japanese method gives children a framework, a physical system for understanding that every yen must be assigned a purpose before it is spent. The money does not sit in a general pool waiting for temptation to claim it. It already has a home. If you want to try this, even as an adult, start with 3 jars or 3 digital accounts. Label them clearly. Decide the percentages in advance. And before any money reaches you, let it flow into its designated place. You will be amazed at how much calmer your financial life becomes when every unit of money already knows where it belongs. Confusion is expensive. Clarity is free. The third money habit, and the one almost no one talks about outside Japan, is the practice of gratitude before eating as a disguised financial lesson. In every Japanese household, before a meal begins, the family says "itadakimasu," which roughly translates to "I humbly receive." After the meal, they say "gochisu-sama deshita," which means thank you for the effort that made this meal possible. These are not just table manners. They are economic teachings hidden inside daily ritual, repeated 3 times a day, every day of a child's life. When a child says "itadakimasu," they are being trained to recognize the chain of effort behind what is in front of them. Someone planted the rice under the summer sun. Someone caught the fish before dawn. Someone earned the money to buy it. Someone prepared it with care. The meal is not free. Nothing is free. And by pausing to acknowledge that chain of effort, the child develops a deep understanding that consumption always has a cost, and that cost deserves recognition. In the West, we eat quickly. We grab meals on the go. We throw away leftovers without thought. And we do the same with money. We consume without pausing to ask where it came from, what it cost in human effort, and whether we genuinely needed it. Start saying a small word of thanks before your meals. Not for religious reasons, unless that resonates with you, but as a financial practice. It trains your brain to pause before consuming, and that pause, practiced over weeks and months, becomes the most powerful budgeting tool you will ever possess. It costs nothing, and it changes everything. The fourth habit takes courage, and it is the one Western parents resist the most. Japanese parents let their children fail with money early, deliberately, and without rescue. If a child spends their entire weekly allowance on the first day on a toy that breaks by the afternoon, the parent does not replace the money. They do not hand over extra coins to ease the discomfort. They sit with the child calmly and ask one simple question: what did you learn? The child feels the emptiness. They feel what it is like to have nothing left for the rest of the week while their friends buy ice cream. They learn, not from a lecture, but from lived experience, that impulsive spending creates real discomfort. There is a Japanese saying, "Shippai wa seiku no moto," which means failure is the origin of success. Japanese parents understand that a child who never fails with small amounts of money will eventually fail catastrophically with large amounts. The lessons will come either way. The only question is whether they arrive when the stakes are 500 yen or $50,000. The early lesson is not cruelty. It is compassion in disguise. By allowing a 7-year-old to feel the sting of a wasted coin, you prevent a 30-year-old from feeling the devastation of a maxed-out credit card or a life built on choices they never learned to make. If you are a parent, this might be the most difficult habit on this list. Every instinct tells you to fix it, but letting your children sit in the discomfort of a poor financial choice is one of the greatest gifts you can give them. That discomfort becomes wisdom, and that wisdom never fades. If you have made it to this point, I want to acknowledge something. You are not casually watching. You are listening with real intention, and that tells me you are someone who wants to live with more clarity and purpose. If that is true, subscribing makes sense because every video I release is designed to give you exactly that. And if you have not hit the like button yet, now is a good time. It genuinely helps more people discover these ideas. All right, let us continue. The next habits go even deeper. The fifth money habit is teaching children to value effort over the accumulation of objects. In Japan, there is a practice called otetsudai, which means helping with household tasks. From a young age, children are given age-appropriate chores. They help set the table. They fold their own clothes. They sweep the entrance. These tasks are not given in exchange for money. They are given to help the child understand the relationship between effort and the quality of daily life. A child who helps wash dishes learns that maintaining a household has genuine value. They learn that comfort does not appear by magic. It is built through small, consistent acts. And when money enters the picture, the child connects it to effort rather than entitlement. In Western cultures, there has been a trend toward giving children things without connecting those things to any form of contribution. The child receives but does not participate in the creation of what they receive. Over time, this creates an unconscious belief that money simply appears and that wanting something is reason enough to have it. Japanese parents counter this by making effort visible. The child sees the parent working. The child contributes in their own small way. And when they earn or receive money, they understand its weight because they have felt what work actually feels like. You can apply this even without children. The next time you want to buy something, ask yourself how many hours of your work it costs. Convert the price into effort and see if you still want it. That conversion is one of the most honest financial exercises you will ever do. The sixth habit is one I hold very close to my own heart, because it shaped the way I live even now. Japanese parents teach their children the art of delayed gratification through what I call the waiting ritual. When a child in Japan wants something, a toy at a shop, a book their friend has, a sweet treat in a window, the parent rarely says no outright. Saying no is blunt and teaches nothing. Instead, the parent says something far more valuable. They say, "Let us wait. Come back to me in 1 week, and if you still want it, we will talk about it then." This is not manipulation. It is training. It teaches the child to distinguish between impulse and authentic desire. Because here is what happens, and I have seen this countless times. Most of the time, the child forgets about the object within days. The want fades like morning fog. It was never real. It was just a reaction to seeing something shiny or new. But occasionally, perhaps 1 time in 5, the child comes back after a full week still wanting the same thing. And in that case, the purchase is meaningful. It was considered. It was tested by time. It was chosen deliberately. The Japanese understand something that neuroscience has recently confirmed. The ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success, financial stability, and personal well-being. More predictive than intelligence. More predictive than social background. And it can be trained. Starting today. The next time you feel the urge to buy something non-essential, do not fight the urge. Simply write it down. Wait 7 days. If you still want it after a full week, buy it without guilt. But I promise you, from years of experience, Most items on that list will quietly disappear from your mind. That is the magic of the waiting ritual. It does not deprive you. It reveals what you actually want and frees you from everything you do not. The seventh and final money habit is the one that ties everything together, and it is the one I promise to reveal at the end. Japanese parents teach their children, through words and daily example, that money is not the goal. Life is the goal. Money is simply one of many tools that supports a good life, but it is never the definition of one. This is rooted in a concept the Japanese call ikigai, which translates to your reason for being, the thing that makes you want to get out of bed every morning. In Japan, ikigai is rarely about wealth. When researchers traveled to Okinawa, the region with the highest concentration of people over 100 years old in the world, and asked centenarians about their ikigai, not one mentioned money. They spoke about their garden and the feeling of soil between their fingers. They spoke about their morning tea. They spoke about a friendship with a neighbor they had known for 60 years. They spoke about their craft, whether weaving or pottery or cooking. Their lives were rich beyond measure, but the richness had nothing to do with their bank accounts. Japanese parents instill this early, not through speeches, but through how they live. A child watches their mother find satisfaction in arranging flowers. A child watches their father care for tools with patience. The child is encouraged to find what they love, what they are good at, and what the world needs. Money is expected to follow purpose, not the other way around. In the West, we reverse this order. We tell children to find a career that pays well first, and then, maybe later, pursue what they love. The Japanese model says no. Start with meaning. Start with what makes you feel alive, and let money organize itself around that center. This does not mean the Japanese ignore financial responsibility, because when money serves purpose rather than replacing it, every decision becomes clearer. You spend less on what does not matter. You invest more in what does. You stop chasing numbers and start building a life. I have seen this in my own family. My grandmother never had much money, but she had ikigai. She made pickles. Simple, beautiful pickles from vegetables she grew in her tiny garden. She gave them to neighbors and sold them at a small market. She woke up every morning with energy and clarity because she knew why she was alive. And she managed her modest income with such grace that she never once felt poor. That is the power of this final habit. When you know why you are alive, money finds its proper place. It stops being a source of anxiety and becomes a quiet companion on a journey that was never about accumulation. It was always about living well. So, here it is. 7 money habits passed down through generations in Japanese homes, and the one the Japanese consider the most important is this last one. That money is never the destination. It is only a companion on the road toward a meaningful life. Because when you chase money as the goal, you may catch it, but you will feel empty holding it in your hands. And when you chase meaning, purpose, and genuine human connection, money follows, quietly and faithfully, without you ever having to run. I want to ask you something before you go today. Of these 7 habits, which one surprised you the most? Or even better, which one are you going to begin practicing first? Leave your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I often respond personally. Your answers also help me understand what matters most to you, so I can bring more of exactly that in future videos. Speaking of which, in the next video I will be sharing a set of Japanese evening rituals that quietly transform your sleep, your mental clarity, and your energy the following morning. These are practices almost no one outside of Japan knows about, and you will not want to miss them. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening with such genuine intention and openness. Remember what we talked about at the very beginning of this video, that there is a money lesson most adults never get the chance to hear. Now you have heard it. And the beautiful thing is, you can begin practicing it today, right now, with both hands open, with gratitude in your heart, and with the quiet understanding that the richest life is not the one with the most money, but the one with the most meaning.